Welcome to a new series of tutorials that we are launching focused on the free and open source Defold game engine. For those who don't know it, Defold is a game engine that used to belong to King, the mobile games developer and publisher, until they decided to give the engine to the Defold Foundation to make it free and open source. The engine is both a 2D and 3D engine, with some limited functionalities that are very easy to get familiar with, a very lean interface, and scripting based on the Lua scripting language. The quality of the games that can be achieved is quite high, as you can see in the videos that have been used in the introduction. Let's dive into Defold. Let's open a new Google session and let's type Defold game engine. You could say, why using Google to search for the home of the engine? Don't you know where it is located? The answer is yes and yes. But, what we wanted to show, is that there are 21 million results for that search, which means that the engine is popular and has content for it, although, for some unknown reason, there aren't many tutorials. Click on the link for the home page. And it will take you to the engine home page. There are a couple of hints at the features of the engine as being free, having an interesting installed base, and is focused on performance. We can also see that the engine is fully integrated into a unique coding environment and that the scripting language it uses is the Lua, a language that was created around 20 years ago. Lua, which means moon in Portuguese, was created in a university in Brazil to try to create alternatives to Unix-based scripting languages like TCL and Python. Yes, that Python used in machine learning. It was supposed to be more popular than it is nowadays, but it is quite a powerful programming language that is not very difficult to learn. The engine is multi-platform and can be used to generate games for Windows, Mac, Linux, HTML5, and Nintendo Switch. Let's check some of the game showcases that are listed, although we have already published a game example, and at the beginning of the video, we had also some examples. And one thing that we can notice, is that the game has quality in its graphics and its performance. Let's quickly see how powerful it is by running an HTML5 game, which is quite heavy, over the browser. We have chosen a fast-paced game where every frame counts, Pickshot. Impressive, no? So, let's start using the engine. Let's go to the download section, and let's click on the download link for the password you intend to use. In our case, Windows. It's downloaded, so let's run it. You would expect an installation process? Well, no. When we said early that the development environment was integrated, this was what we meant. We have downloaded a game engine where everything is tightly integrated. So we have now in front of us the engine IDE, with the options to open an existing project or to create a new one. Since it is our first lesson, let's create a new project. In the new screen, we are asked to choose between starting from a template or starting a blank project. Let's choose for now a platformer since it has been the type of example that we have shown in the first episode of our series. The engine starts to load the project from the internet, and opens up the IDE, with the credits for the template that we are using. Let's review quickly the different sections of the IDE. In the central region of the screen, we can see that we are previewing the content of a README MD file, which means that all our files or projects will be displayed and edited in this large interface. On the left, we have our project hierarchy with different folders already created for us, where we can drop or create new elements depending on our needs. We can see that we have different folders, like buttons, assets, game, input, and then a game project and text files. Below the hierarchy, we have another pane, that currently displays a caption of changed files. This will hold the information about the changes that we will be doing to our files in the project. In the central bottom section, we have several tabs, to the console, errors, animation editor, and other elements to control the project created. In the right top pane, we have our inspector, divided in outline, which is where the different objects of the scene will be listed, and the main properties will be listed in the second region named properties. Let's explore the hierarchy of the project and take a look at the content of the folders. In images, we can see some sprite atlases. In game we can see some elements associated with game objects, level tilemap, which is our level, and a script that goes by the name of player script. We also see an object named player go. In Defold, the Go extensions are relative to game objects, which means this is our player object template or prefab, as we would call it in other programming languages. Let's double-click on the level.tilemap, and we can see that in the central canvas, we have the map associated without the game. Let's double-click on the player.go, and we can see our player with all the elements that it needs to run correctly, as the sprite, the collisions, etc. Let's take a quick look at what Lua looks like and open up the player.script. And there it is, gentlemen and gentleladies, Lua. Don't be afraid of it. All programming languages look complicated when seen for the first time. Let's now see the game in action. From the top menu, select the option project and then click on build. You can see that the project starts to be compiled, depicted by the bar progressing on the right pane. A new window opens. And our game is running. In the background below the game window, we can see that some information is being displayed by the console. Let's play the game. If you are usually following our videos, we can see that it is very similar to other platformers examples available with other game engines. Although, we can say that it feels more responsive and smoother than with other engines. Let's stop the game. Let's go to the tile map that we have opened earlier on. Instantly, we can see that the engine adapts to it, and if we start to interact with the tile map, we are painting new tiles right from the tool. Pretty cool, no? And if we run the game again, the changes are correctly implemented and we can interact with them. In the next episode, we will start to make our own game from the ground up, designing a small level and programming our first interactions with the Lua scripting. We hope that you have liked this video. If it has been the case, consider subscribing, giving a like, and clicking on the notification button. If you have any questions, problems, or comments, Don't hesitate in putting a comment and we will answer as fast as we could. See you in the next video, game developers.